I want to say Happy New Year because chances is this is happening obviously way before midnight, right? But I'm not saying Happy New Year just because it's a holiday. I'm saying Happy New Year because there's somebody out there who made it all 365 days and is still here. And to you, kudos. You found a way, whether it be you reach out and get help, whether it be that you have found some new form of life to keep going another day. And it's somebody who is still struggling. They made it all 365. They've made it to today, and they're still struggling. Things aren't quite what they seem. They aren't quite what they appear to be, and they smile every day. They laugh every single day. They seem to be just fine. And those people, I want you to know something. I pray you win every battle you don't talk about. I pray that you continue to just keep finding peace and the will to go another day. Remember, all it takes is just one more day. But if you're one of those people where it's getting harder by the day, then just do the one thing that you can do and live by dialing three simple numbers 988. I promise you, it's not what you think it's going to be. It's going to give you an opportunity to not only be there for those who care about you, but to be there for yourself. So before you make a decision we have to live with, make one that you can live with and go get help. Now let's talk football. Pride Nation, what up, though? Yes, this is gonna be a shorter show than usual because a brother do got to still get into the work shift, man. Man, I am working on New Year's Eve. Yes, so I wanted to give y'all a show, and again, so, like I remember many people told me yesterday, something is better than nothing, and it does add up. So to the people who are in the chat, to my replay game, and the people who will be watching this at a later time, Happy New Year. If I don't, get to say it at exactly midnight. Happy New Year. This year has been interesting. Year 2025 is going to be the year of you not only setting goals but following through on them. People, I'm going to do my best to keep Patty Luke under wraps today. It's going to be damn near impossible. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be challenging. And that's because I am absolutely disgusted at the hypocrisy that is the NFL. I'm disgusted. I want to puke. I want to scream at the top of my lungs. But before I get into all of that, before I get into that full breakdown of the hypocrisy, the BS, and all the other things, let's talk about what today is today. It is Victory Tuesday, which means that our Detroit Lions, if you lived underneath a rock, played yesterday. And I am so happy that not only did they play, but they won. They won the game. And when they won the game, I promise you that it is a joyous feeling to talk about. The Detroit Lions defeated the 49ers 40-34. Now, let me just see who's in the building with me because I want to make sure I acknowledge my people, my family, those who rock with your boy. We got my man John Capper in the building who says I'm a little early. It's 2:42. We got Looney Tune in the building. Detroit D says I called both those picks by Kirby. Outstanding. I think we was messaging, to be honest. I can't remember. Giovanni Lyons the second says, yo, Macau Hope says, what up, though? Mr. Marcus, what up, though? Christopher Cashball says, Happy New Year Eve, all. Hey, support to that. Happy New Year's from you to you as well. 1991 Max Stack says, well, Luke who decided to show up and throw down. What up, Luke? What up, dude? Listen, all right, let me get right into this. This game was everything I thought it was going to be, right? It was everything I thought it was going to be. The one thing that I started noticing was we had a lot of people who was panicking. You may not have met them. Maybe y'all have. Maybe y'all was talking to some of them. I never wavered. I didn't even care. This is the benefit of playing a game that people quote unquote call meaningless. But the question I have to ask people is who was it meaningless to? Hey, we says we here. What up, dude? Black Spirit says, yo, what up, though? Who was the game meaningless to? Well, it's meaningless to the Lions, right? Well, here's the thing. It sure as hell didn't look like it was meaningless to the 49ers. And all the media that I've listened to scolded the Lions. They scolded Dan Campbell. And you know what I realized? Sometimes it's hard for people to get behind a change narrative. It's going to be some of y'all who's going to make some changes in 2025 that some people are not going to be able to accept because they were so used to the old you. You were so predictable. You were so simple. There was no questions or any doubt whatsoever about who you were. And now because you are no longer predictable, now because you are no longer willing to accept their BS because you have set boundaries, you are now going to become public enemy number one. You're going to become somebody that people don't like. You're going to be the person that people don't want to talk about. And that's what the Lions are. It was fun and easy to talk about the Lions when they were a goddamn dumpster fire. It was enjoyable. It was a great thing. It made many people's jobs easy. And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a bunch of people who cannot fathom the thought of the Lions being a legitimate team. It confuses them. And I've heard all of the narratives. I've heard all of this meaningless game crap. I've heard all of this rest your starters crap. I told you yesterday. I get all sides of it. I fully understand it. It is not on deaf ear. Right? Like, I fully get it. But I also understand that at the end of the day, this is why you play football. And this is something that blows my mind because we keep doing this. Go through history of sports. Every sport. I don't care what it is. Football, hockey, soccer, baseball, basketball, cricket, swim, water polo, tag. I don't give a care what it is. Go through sports, video games. Champions are usually the ones who do what is outside the box. They don't do what the norm say do. They don't do what people think they should do. They do what is outside the box, and they do it consistently. And to the people who argue that this was a meaningless game, nothing about this was meaningless. The Lions are playing for legacy. It is not just the legacy of the city. It's not just the legacy of the fans. It's the legacy of themselves. Nobody can say that the Lions have tasted 14 wins until this year, and they did that being outside the box. Nobody can say that the Lions have tasted 13 wins, but they did that this year, and that was outside the box. Nobody can say that the Lions was in position to continue to make history as they go on to not only be 14-2, but soon to be 15-2, because I have no doubts we're beating the Vikings. But they made that history by doing something that I have always said that we should have did years ago, which is, why don't we use the fourth down as an actual down? Why do we keep conforming to just punting it away for the sake of punting it away? There's no reason for it. There's no logic to us having to change the formula. Why do anything different? And this is the thing that's blowing my mind. I'm going to play y'all one particular clip that really caught my attention because it was a bunch of bullshit. And it's because it's hypocrisy. So let me do the things first and foremost, the positive sides of it. The Detroit Lions did exactly what my scouting eyes told me they should have did, and they ran that damn ball. What up, though, Big T? They ran the ball. That's what they were supposed to do. That's what they did. I showed you. Look at the games that they lost. Look at them. Look who led in rushing. I showed you game by game this exact information. I showed that. And I'm going to show you it again. Who won the rushing attack? The Lions did. I told fantasy users, if you're smart, you better go out there and you better put in Jahmyr Gibbs. Because I knew that this was going to be a game where he was going to get off. 18 carries, 117 yards, a 6.5 yard average. You have any idea how hard it is to stop them up when they averaging 6.5 yards a carry? You have any idea how demoralizing that is? How exhausting it is to keep slamming into somebody that just keeps going the distance? It has changed in such a way that there's no need to even have this conversation. I knew that was going to be the way it worked. I said, hit him out the backfield. Feed the man. He had another 4 catches for 46 yards. And while Ricky Purcell went off, which to his credit, kudos. The Lions did what it needed to be done. I want you to take this in because I want you to be clear. If you are questioning the Lions defense, if you are questioning the injuries and everything, let me put this on your mind for a second, okay? For all the talks about the Lions defense being this and being that, let's talk about the fact that it wasn't like the 49ers defense did any better. They gave up 40. And this game played out the almost exact same way that happened in the playoffs, where the Lions came out hot, right? Lions came out hot, was up, and it took 1 or 2 plays, i.e. a bunch of drop catches on 4th downs, but the bigger one, the fumble by Jahmyr Gibbs, to swing the momentum completely the other way. And it all started in the 3rd quarter with about 6 minutes left. And when you go and you look at this past game, that's exactly what happened in this game. And they came out hot as hell. They marched down the field like it was nobody's business, and so did we. And we responded quickly and swiftly. But we got to the 3rd quarter. And when we got to the 3rd quarter, guess what happened? Things got real. And it boiled down to who made the mistakes. And guess who did that this time? Not the Lions. Wasn't no fumbles by the Lions. It wasn't no drop passes on 4th down. And all the people who sit up there and talked about the 4th down stuff and that's why we're here. This game ain't meaningless. The defense did enough. You think about this. I'm not saying that the Lions have to score 40 every time, but the defense needs to make at least 2 stops a game. And the Lions must score on those 2 stops. Because once that happened, what happened to the 49ers? They were chasing us. They were chasing us. And the best part about it is they could never catch us. This was not a rabbit and turtle race. And if it was the real rabbit and turtle, and we were the rabbit. This was a good game. Now, let me address the ignorance, the hypocrisy. Because you can go through and find so many different news outlets where they talk about, the Lions, Dan Campbell is foolish in this meaningless game. It didn't mean anything. It meant something to the players. He should have rested his starters. Why? Let me give you another way of looking at this. To the people in the camp who said he should have rested his starters, because what if somebody got hurt? They didn't. But since we're doing what ifs, Like this is the Marvel's TV show. Let's do the full what if. What if we rest our players and then they go out and practice and get hurt? What's the difference? What if we rest our players and then they go out against the Vikings cold and rusty because they don't have downtime? I saw a clip where LaShawn McCoy was talking to some of these doubters, and he said, I'll never forget, I've been on multiple teams that went to the Super Bowl, and he said, we don't like the bye week. We don't like having that bye week because you will get cold, you will get rusty. We like to just keep going because we know what it is. It's better to just push through and get it over with. Right? This is what he said. He said, and sometimes when you look at it, if they go out and they rest these players and they come out rusty, then people will say he should have played them because now they got cold. And he's right. He's right. But I'm going to show you how the hypocrisy come in, right? Let's start with one of my clips where they decided to talk about this. I'm drawing a blank on who these other two people are, but just listen to it for yourself.
Love the authenticity, the emotion, yeah, everything. So was Dan Campbell's decision reckless or awesome, Danny?
It was awesome for me because I have no skin in the game. I'm just watching football, and I like watching Jahmyr Gibbs run and Jameson Williams be fast, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and all of that. Like, they're one of the most fun teams in football. I picked them to make the Super Bowl before the year. They're the best story in football. Everyone roots for the Lions. The city has never seen a Super Bowl. It's a great fan base, so you would want your team to embody it. But it's also reckless. And Dan Campbell is reckless.
Yes.
Now, a lot of it works, and it embodies them. Since Dan Campbell has been there, they've gone for it on fourth down more than any other team. They've had more fourth down conversions. They've scored more points on fourth down. He onside kicks early. He goes for 2 from the 7-yard line. He does crazy things. Last night was reckless. If Penei Sewell had gotten hurt, or Jahmyr Gibbs had gotten hurt, or Jared Goff had gotten hurt, we would be saying today that they are going to lose to Minnesota, lose the 1 seed, and then that extra offensive injury in conjunction with their bad defense and their injured defense would rob that city of a legitimate shot at going to a Super Bowl.
But it didn't get hurt. And let's say they did get hurt, right? Hypothetically, let's say they did get hurt. They can get hurt in practice. They can get hurt walking home. They can get hurt going to the grocery store. Hell, they can get hurt going to the bathroom. This is happening many times in the NFL in real time, where players have did the most simplest small tasks, and it turned into this whole issue of injuries. But if was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. This is a bunch of BS. This is some stuff that does not make sense to be talking about. It's reckless. Oh, it's crazy. It's reckless and crazy because you're not used to it. That's what the problem is. You're not used to this. But this is the scary part about it. This person, like Sam Acho and all the rest of these other people, are the same ones who are sitting there talking about the Eagles should play Saquon Barkley in Week 18 to break Eric Dickerson's record. Well, why ain't that reckless? Why ain't that reckless? Why am I hearing the stories about how reckless it is to have a guy chase a personal goal? Where's the recklessness in that? You want the best thing on the Eagles to chase a personal goal. That's not considered reckless. That's not considered out of this crazy thing. Oh, he's going for it on fourth down. You damn Skippy, you get 4 of them. Could you imagine if you had 4 shots at $1 million and you said to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna do it 3 times. I'm gonna pass on the last one. I'm good. I didn't get it the first 3 times. I'm gonna pass on the 4th one. It's okay. It's stupid. You get 4 downs. And guess what? Not a single person is bitching about 4th downs today because we got them. You can't have it both ways. You can't be on one end talking about, oh, he's going for it on 4th down. This is what got you here. And to the people who talks about it's reckless, who says that it's meaningless, ask yourself this question. When the Lions won that game, did you not feel good? Did you not celebrate? If you say no, you're a liar or you're not a real fan. It's one of the two. Either you're lying or you're not a real fan. There is no way in hell you ain't going to tell me you didn't feel good. I got excited with every hit, every run, every interception. But it's reckless. It's dangerous. It's crazy. What if? What if this would have happened? What if that would have happened? Come on, stop the cap. Stop it. You're scolding Dan Campbell for these decisions, but his team came out and performed like the game mattered. They talked about it. J-Mo and St. Brown talked about, yeah, this is right here. We had to get this because of how we finished last time. And they turned the table. But there's this other part of it that they won't talk about. You know why they won't talk about this? Because that's not a good story. It's not good to hear that story. What up, though, John Jones? What up, Billy Vendible? It's not cool to hear that story. Detroit at 147. What up, though? Here's the truth. The Lions did something by going out and taking this game serious. They kept their team's attention at a heightened state. It created momentum. It keeps the rhythm the freaking same. You cannot tell me watching this game that they looked like they was out of sync. Do you realize the only time we didn't get it was once? Outside of that one time, we was in. You got a receiver and Amon-Ra St. Brown falling to the ground, still make the play happen because they are in sync, in rhythm. You can lose all of that resting your starters. And for what? Because other people think it's out of the box. You can't do it. Those same people who are talking about Saquon Barkley need to go out and get the record. Stop it. Those same people who are saying, oh, they got too many injuries as it is, and I don't see them beating the Vikings. Why? Either way it go, Lions is in the playoffs, right? The pressure is not on the Lions to not lose the division. It's on the Vikings to win it. They got to come on the road. They're the ones who got to show up in a hostile environment or risk having to go at the 5th seed, which, by the way, would be some more history. For the first time, 2 14-2 teams are playing for so much. This wouldn't even be possible history if the Lions decided to mail it in. Jared Goff was surgical yesterday. The only player that I really found fault with yesterday, in all honesty, was goddamn Jamar Jefferson. He's the only one. I was like, bro, I feel like you ain't got no decision on what you're going to do. Turner, shout out to Deshaun yesterday who brought it up about Turner. Turner had a moment, but we got to deal with what we got to deal with. And to 2 guys on the podcast, you play to win the game. Players play to win the game. There is too much on the line. Winning is as much as mentality as it is physical skill. It is. I even heard somebody say, well, what about them taking some of the equity off of their players? They got physically hit more. So what? So what? To the typist who goes out there and type, they can break a finger, pop a nail. The surgeon can mess up. Everything has risk. Just because it has risk doesn't mean you don't keep doing it. And again, you're talking about resting players like it's the end of the season. It ain't the end of the season. I'll never forget this. One of the reasons I never was a huge fan of Jim Caldwell was because he had Peyton Manning and the Colts with the opportunity to go completely undefeated all the way to the Super Bowl, and he rested his players the last week. And they still lost the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. There's always two sides to a coin, and in most cases, this mainstream media and some of my fellow YouTubers was talking crazy. Oh, this game is a meaningless game. You celebrated and jumped up and down at the rest of us. Calm down. Pull your skirt down. That's another good point, Makai Hope. Why are they not talking about him as a coach of the year? Because he disrupted the NFL system. That's why. He did. Listen, they went from saying stuff like they went from saying stuff like it's about who improved their team the most. Who's more improved than the Lions? Well, you can't say that because look, last year they was in the NFC Championship. You don't get it. We're averaging more points. We're still winning, and we're doing it with a bunch of makeshift players. These are people that if anybody ever seen the movie The Replacement, you remember that movie The Replacement where they was walking around and they went and got dog from the grocery store? Right, Franklin? Because he was a fast receiver, but his hands was a stone. They went and got Flacco, the quarterback. They were picking up dudes. They even got a dude out of prison. Remember that? Number 42? You remember that? We got these. These is who playing defense. This is who they went. They went out and grabbed you, me, and she. That's what they did. They went out and added people. They was walking down the street, right? This is like how I feel like they did this. They was walking down the street, was like, yeah, okay, you about 6'2". Yeah, okay. What you got, an 18 neck? All right, cool. Yeah, you can be a linebacker. That's what they doing. And you telling me he's not in the discussion for the coach of the year? Who is? If not him, who? Show me the coaches who's still getting it done with this amount of injuries. I'll wait. It's a joke. You only need about 2 to 3 stops, really 2 stops from this defense. That's what happened yesterday. 2 stops. Now, we got more than the 2. We got about 3 or 4, but 2 stops is what turned the whole game. Seriously. And that's another good point, Christopher. You make another good point. When you soar, you keep playing through it. Even as a person who goes to the gym, when you're sore, if you rest up and try to go back to the gym, it feels weird. It's I don't know what the hell to call it. It ain't a good feeling. It feels strange. They have the whole offseason to rest. If you want to rest, we'll rest for the 1 week for the playoffs. And you're right, we do get the whole offseason. What up, though, Perry Ball? Looney Tunes says you did a horrible job of keeping Patty Luke quiet. I'm trying, but it's just ridiculous. The hypocrisy. Oh, on one hand, Saquon go for Eric Dickerson record. It's right there. What if he gets hurt? What if he goes out there and do like that player who just tore all his entire knee up? What if he do that? What if he go out there and dislocate his shoulder, chasing a record? Why ain't nobody talking about Sirianni being reckless? It's hypocrisy that's driving me crazy. What up, though, Marcus Willis? What up, Antoine? And that's another thing. I got to point that out, too. Our kicker missed the extra point. They kicker missed everything. And I knew a lot of Lions fans, because they Michigan fans, wanted Jake Moody. They wanted him. And Jake Moody is going to get better. He's out there playing hurt as a kicker. I get it. But those missed field goals are huge, and that happened in the last game of the playoff. We missed some kicks. To the people who's talking about, oh, why he going for it on 4th? Because we couldn't stop a nosebleed. And sometimes in order for you to be successful, you got to push yourself ahead. So come on with that. All right? No coach has the heart of a team more than MC. Not even close. He was finna cry yesterday because he knew that game didn't mean nothing, but they didn't play like it didn't mean nothing. He didn't coach like it didn't mean nothing. They didn't celebrate like it didn't mean nothing. It keeps them hot and in rhythm. That same rhythm you're going to need when we go against the Vikings at home. And the biggest part of that game is going to be us, the fans. This got to be the loudest game until we get to the playoffs of the regular season. This needs to be so disruptive that they're going through. And yes, they're going to make a few plays here and there. You got to throw some more liquor in the system and get louder. That's just the real part about it. But our team won. Our team is 14-2. And it sounds a whole lot better than 13-3. And while many people are going to sit there and be like, but what ifs? Go watch the TV show. But what if? If I was 2 shades lighter, I probably wouldn't get pulled over somebody. I don't know. What the hell? What we doing here? What we doing here? Show up and show out. That's the whole thing. And here's the thing. I want y'all to understand something. You know how demoralizing it is to be in the bottom of the third quarter or the top of the fourth quarter and hear people chanting Jared Goff and you the home team? To now have the media asking questions about should they pay Brock Purdy or not? You did that. You as a Lions fan base and the Lions team did that. Kudos to you. That was all on you. And guess what? To the people who still can't wrap their head around why did they go so hard in the game that don't mean nothing? Because it meant everything for momentum. It meant everything for rhythm. It meant everything for legacy. The same way people want Saquon Barkley to go and get a personal record. It means everything. That's why. And while you may not like it, our team did what they were supposed to do. On the defensive side of the ball, it wasn't just Kirby that showed up and showed out. Amik Robertson, I remember when he was coming out of college, I wanted this guy so bad. I just saw a guy who just, you want to talk about the Wolverine? If anybody know anything about Marvel characters, Wolverine is not a big guy. He real small. He about 5'6", 5'5". Maybe about a buck 83, soaking wet, right? But he don't give a shit about size. It's about mentality. You come against me, I will wreck you. That's Amik Roberts. He ain't the biggest dude out there. He's scrappy as hell. What up, though, Lions Lee? Hatter House, what up, though? Easy Lion Minute, what up, though? I'm just telling you. Joe Lewis 313, what up, though? Again, Happy New Year to y'all. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter show. I do got to still go in tonight. Boy, I tell you. I'm trying to build my own legacy. To my entrepreneurs out there, please hit me up on IG. I need help. I need help so I can be myself. I can't take it no more. All right. But then let me point this out too. In terms of the defense, I know something that I'm gonna put them out there too, because this is one of the things. I know that it's easy to look up and say, where was Darius Smith? I know it's easy to look up and say, our linebackers ain't it. These are all things I pointed out a long time ago. This is why I was so critical of Brad Holmes. I said you can't keep bringing in all these hurt players, and you have to at some point fully address the defense in the way that you need to. But I can tell you that it's one thing that I am very proud of in spite of the injuries, and that is we play as a team. This is one of the few times where I can look and see that we truly play as a team. We truly play as one unit, as one what's that drum line? One band, one sound. This is that one time where I'm like, it's a team. The defense, it's easy to say with Kirby's interceptions and stuff like that, but we forget that on a few of those, there was pressure that led to those interceptions where the pocket got closed really quick, where he got chased out of the pocket. And that right there is essentially what you want to have happen in situations like this. Now, after all these years, it sounds like Luke is finally a Lions fan. Luke has always been a Lions fan. I'm just realistic. I'm not finna sugarcoat nothing. When it's not right, it ain't right. When it is, it is. And one thing about Luke is always going to look at the reality of what's happening at that moment. And the reality says the following things. I got to go by what they say. I'm just mind boggled that we win the game, and instead of us getting the praise that we should get, I'm getting to hear about ifs and fifths. I'm getting to hear about recklessness and danger and crazy. They said that the head coach was an airhead. You had Lions fans ready to fire Aaron Glenn, and yet you still got a defense who is playing their butts off for Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Would this be the defense I had put together and be like, I'm gonna go win something with? Nope. But that's a testament to coaching. People using winning as a band-aid. We need Brad Holmes needs to invest this offseason in defense. He better. And it ain't just about the injuries neither. He better. It better be some significant upgrades. You need to go out and get this man a legitimate running mate. You say Aiden Hutchinson is the figurehead of the defense, then go get him some help. When everybody was going crazy, when Miko and the beautiful gentleman over there with the questionable teas talking about the Greek yogurt, and people getting mad at me for saying, look, it's a perfect analogy. He needs help. It's true. Because guess what? Even with Aiden Hutchinson in this year, was he starting out kind of good? Yeah, he did that before. And it fizzles. It does it all the time. It's a part of the game. I get it now. Right? But you better go out there and invest in it. You need linebackers. Because guess what? All day yesterday, they did misdirect and play action, and the linebackers bit every single time, including Jack Campbell, who is one of them said linebackers that's supposed to take the next step. Every time. And it was a good plan by them until it wasn't. I'm just trying to keep it 100. That's all. He better. And don't go out there taking no risk. All right. Now you don't took two projects. Broderick Martin and Giovanni Manu. Enough of this shit. No more projects, Brad Holmes. And to be honest with you, I think he understands this already. So I don't even have to address it. We ain't gonna be taking too many more projects. We taking talent. At Luke, should we re-sign Dravis and Smith? Dravis? Smith? Zadarius Smith? No. He's going to be here anyway because he got another year on his deal, so he's just going to be here. So he'd be a good rotational piece or somebody to have, and you can still add another rookie into the mix. Dravis? Who are you trying to say? Dravis. That's not even ringing a bell, Perry. I don't know. Who the hell is Dravis? Maybe I'm missing it. Oh, Davis. You're trying to say Davis. Okay. Carlton Davis. this is gonna be an unpopular opinion. No, I would not re-sign Carlton Davis. I would not. I would not re-sign him. What's the point of you drafting the 2 cornerbacks? You drafted Terry Young, you drafted Enos Rexhaw. You still got a Meek Robertson under contract. You can now still go out and draft another quarterback to add. I don't see a reason to bring Carlton Davis back. Now, granted, they reward people who perform for them. I get it, but you know, I want to let's move forward. Let's go with the young guys. If you want to add another veteran corner, or maybe now if Davis willing to take a nice little pay cut, we could talk about it. But I'm not in the business of telling men on how to handle their money. So, no, I'm good. I would not re-sign Davis. Sorry. Easy Lions Minute says, I'm sure AG's scheme is more nuanced than I see, but man up and let Kirby float. Could use some different looks at times, but it's a feast or famine. Sometimes the simplest answer is the best answer, right? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, right? Like, if it's a fire, you would think pour water on it, right? Because most cases, the average person ain't trained on different types of fire. But they know that if I at least pour water on it, I might have a chance of stopping it. Okay. Or maybe the simplest answer is I got a bill, I pay the bill. Right? Or I'm bleeding, so I put something on it to stop the bleeding. Like, sometimes it's the simplest answer. It don't need to be too complicated. So I do get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But I'm all for it. I'm all for it. 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett would have been an easy pill to swallow, but I trust in Brad Holmes. You know what? Honestly, this is going to sound crazy. I think Myles Garrett would have been a phenomenal add to the Lions, but I would have much rather had Max Crosby. Luke, are you crazy? But Myles Garrett's better. I get it. I totally get it. But Max Crosby is from here, and he's played at Eastern Michigan, and he's so much more than the build that he is, and he would be just the perfect thing to the culture here. Not having either of those two, I'm okay with it. We got work to do. I told people a long time ago when they was, I know this pissed people off, and I was like, the best defensive lineman we got is Aleem McNeil, and it's the truth. Yeah, I know everybody want to hype up Aiden Hutchinson. It's Aleem McNeil. That man is a whole problem. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you ain't paid attention, him not being in the lineup made things real bad because he was so disruptive. Most underrated line of all time from this season, I can say. Shay, it says, by a week before week 9, it's borderline insane. Yeah, hey. But guess what? It's got rhythm. It's got us in rhythm. Congratulations on victory and good luck in the playoffs. That's my man, Bob Money. Hey, support to you, man. I remember you from last time when you came and talked your stuff when it came for the playoffs. Hey, I appreciate that. Now, ironically, the Lions kind of helped y'all out too because y'all draft stock position is getting real good too. And y'all got there because y'all had some injuries as well, but y'all will be able to re-up on some things. So kudos to you. Appreciate that. Rich Diana says, we need Brad, the architect, to keep working his magic and get a trainer that understands a 17-game season and playoffs. I mean, I think we have those people already. I think the difference is that some of these injuries, there's no amount of training that you can account for these to happen. I mean, Carlton Davis with a broken jaw, who saw that? What training you doing to strengthen your jawbones? I'm gonna leave that alone. No Diddy. I'm gonna leave it alone. Oh God. Oh my God, my brain did not need to go there. In case you want to jump in, the link is in the chat, so you can link in and talk your stuff if you want to. I'm only gonna be on for about an hour. Still got to go to work. Yeah. I'm just saying some of these injuries has been a little strange. That's all I'm saying. Amen to that. Carlton Davis. Thanks, Bob. What? Davis has been legit. He was everything we wanted in Sutton, but actually worked out. Well, I told you Sutton wasn't going to be the answer, and I told you with Carlton Davis that he has these spurts where he's fired for a year and MIA the rest. And the reason I'm not doing that is because you've already made the investment in other cornerbacks, and you can still keep that process by adding another rookie corner. But with Davis, you're going to have to give him at least a 3-year deal, and you're going to have to pay him. And he's already had a significant amount of injuries. He had these injuries on the Bucs. They are carried over to here. And you're going to pay a guy who's going to give you about 9 or 10 to maybe 12 games. If you're okay with that, cool. Not saying he ain't been good, but cool. Again, I know about the electrical fire thing. That's what I'm saying. It just depends. No, Luke, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's simple, but it works. Hey, that's all I'm looking for. Simplicity is the best. Let me see. Make sure I'm... Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, he broke his jawbone. What exercise? I had to leave it alone. I'm like, nope, you're not gonna get me. Crosby over Miles, but if you look at Za'Darius, he's a true journeyman, not a personality that will clash with anyone. I mean, this is my thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When we first got him, I was just like, that doesn't fix a damn thing. It was at this point, he was a band-aid to a real bad cut, right? And while he has enough glue to stick to something, it ain't finna stop much. But will he have a moment or two where he's going to make a play or so? Yeah, 100%. But was he something that I was expecting to be huge? No. Now, if we had Matt Judon, I would expect it a little bit more because I believe Matt Judon has shown some things. But I'm cool. I'm saying I'm cool. I'm cool with Za'Darius. He'll be all right because at the end of the day, as long as you got something that somebody got to pay attention to, I'm good. I'm good. And again, I agree with you, Billy Venable. It's not about burning up draft capital. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just keeping it 100%. If you're going to go out and do it, do it. Hey, look. He like, pause. Hey, bro, I had to think about it. I was like, whoa. Where did your mind go? I've heard that that's a typical workout in Minnesota. I'm like, listen, I was finna go down a rabbit hole I was not prepared for. I'm not doing it. Yep, Minnesota game plan for sure. No broken jaws there and many. I don't did too much. Another thing I wanted to point out is this, because I'm gonna try to come live tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Thursday, right? Shout out to Dan Spano. He said, "What did I walk into here?" Hey, let's just say I said something and thought about it. It was like, yeah, that didn't go out this way I thought it. All right, but as far as I want to break down the Minnesota game, because I think that there is something that many Lions fans don't understand about the first matchup that happened between the Lions and Vikings, and some of the nuances and some of the circumstances that are going to be different this game. And I'm telling you that this is a season that's feeling magical for a number of reasons, right? Lions 8-0 on the road. They're 5-0 in the division, soon to be 6-0 with a full sweep of the division. Players swag is on 9,000. The coach attitudes are on 9 billion. Like, this is a whole entire switch up, right? The Lions breakdown for that game, I want to do that on like every tomorrow, Thursday. For this particular game, I showed you every game where they were not the leading rusher, they lost. And we added another L to that column because Jahmyr Gibbs was the problem. And this is another thing. I remember arguing with fans back in the day about DeAndre Swift being more than just a third down back. They were trying to pull that same scheme with Jahmyr Gibbs. Give people the ball. Give them the ball. Seriously. Give them the ball. And y'all may not have known it, but Jahmyr Gibbs was out there balling, And his biggest supporter was his running mate, Monty, who was hyped as hell that he was doing this damn thing. Hyped. And again, any questions you got, put them in there because I got about another 5 to 6 minutes. He says, you putting Arnold on JJ? Yep. Sure am. I'll put a Meek Roberts on him. I'll put whoever I need to put on him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who I put on him. You know why it don't matter who I put on him? Because the Vikings have done something that I am happy that they decided to do. And that is live in the pass game. If you really want to beat the Lions, you better run at them. You better run at them often and early and so forth and so on. But if you start passing the ball, well, now we got something going here. So, yep, I sure will put Arnold on him. Because one thing about Arnold is he's getting beat. But ask yourself this question. How many times have you seen him get beat and he wasn't in the play? These are the tightest throws I've seen in a long time from a cornerback. When Okudah came out, I had no doubts he was not worth that pick. I did not see him. He wasn't even close. He wasn't even close. He wasn't even in the goddamn frame. I can't tell you how many times I showed frame by frame. Like, where is he at? Where is he? He's not even in the picture. So, yep, I'll put him on there. We are at home versus the Vikings. That is correct. We are at home. Gibbs, 1,200 yards rushing. Yep. And guess what? He would have had even more if we had committed to him in the run game. This is one of the reasons why I got so annoyed when we had DeAndre Swift and we had Jamal Williams. I'm like, all this split and carry stuff, enough of this. Pick a back. Saquon Barkley got running mates, but guess what? He's the feature guy. Pick a damn back. Let him run. He's not finna get ready to break a record because he's splitting carries up evenly. No, come on. I understand running back by committee. I do, but shoot, sometimes put the best product out there. Willie Ross says, Luke, you back, man. Been waiting for you forever, man. Listen, it has been a journey this year. That's all I'm gonna say. Do you think Emmanuel is still rusty? Just curious why you think he hasn't played at all. I don't think he's rusty. I don't think he's healed enough that they feel confident in him. But I think he's healed enough that in the event of an emergency or in small spurts, they feel good with him being out there. I don't think they feel good with him being out there full time because he ain't fully healthy. And another person they did this to early on in the season was Sam Laporta. You would see Sam Laporta out there on dummy plays and not getting the ball thrown to him because he really was hurt. But they felt good enough about him being out there in certain spots and spurts versus the other part. So, yeah, I think that's why you're seeing a little of Mosley. But again, that's part of it. And the other part of it is the rhythm is in the other guys. They've been out there already. The rhythm is with them. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna get people coming in off of injury taking over for people who've already been out there in the trenches and got rhythm. It just don't make sense. I wanted to see Vaki, but I definitely trust the coaches. I'm gonna tell you why I wanted to see Vaki too, but I was okay with Reynolds playing, was because after Jefferson came in and I realized he didn't have a plan. I was like, yeah, I don't like this. There was one play where Jefferson ran to the left. He tried to cut it outside and he got caught. And I think I was in the chat and I said, if that was Jahmyr Gibbs, he scores, right? And then there's another play where he's on the goal line and I don't know what the hell he was trying to do. He cuts and gets tackled for a loss. And I'm like, just go straight. The lane was there. And when you put in Craig Reynolds was just like, I'm just going to take what you give me. If it's up the middle, it's up the middle. So that was the difference. With Vaki, I think with him, they have some plans with him, and they're trying to keep it under the brass, but they also are not trying to force him into a situation that is not ideal for him to succeed or put at risk for the moment to be too big for a guy who's a rookie, and then he, turns the ball over. So I can see all the different ways that they're looking at it. and why they're looking at it that way. So I appreciate that. Gibbs can make a big play every time he has the ball. Yeah, 100%. 100%. There were games where I felt like he should have been the featured guy, and then there were games where I felt like Monty should have been the featured guy. But we still play balance. Sometimes a little too damn balanced. Easy Lion Minute says, I appreciate your take, man. You have legit opinions and explain them well. I try to live in a world of logic. Again, can Iffy play nickel? I mean, he has. And I've seen him blitz him from the nickel spot. I've seen him also blitz from the safety spot. I've seen Iffy be moved all around. What Iffy does is, especially right now, it allows for Brian Branch to move around. Like, y'all don't realize this. That blitz where Brian Branch is up there on the line of scrimmage, acting like he finna cover, and he took off and blasted Brock Purdy, that was a play that was 13 plays in the making. Like, seriously. That was the play. So I'm cool with it. Anything that helps. Are you still mad about Ben Johnson returning? I wasn't mad at Ben Johnson returning. I was mad that Ben Johnson's offense was becoming more and more predictable to where I was starting to pick up on certain tendencies, and I wanted him to call the games in a way that sets us up for success. He's now doing that. So, hey, shout out to my man's Buck over there from Man Hour NFL Talk. Says, what up, Luke? What up, dude? Yeah, I'm trying to get back into the rhythm, man. I'm trying to get back into my rhythm. It has been a task. Scheduling has been a beast. The new baby has been a beast. This is the most advanced 5-month-old I've ever seen in my entire life. Nothing about this kid is similar to my other children, trust me. But hey, Happy New Year. Luke, don't you look too far back. That was curse time. I was there for most of it. Brad and Dan and Sheila makes me feel like I'm dreaming. One pride. I remember people thought I had lost my mind because I was so hyped when they named Sheila Ford Hamp the owner. And I remember people was like, bro, you trip. I'm like, bro, she know how to text. Like, people couldn't understand the significance of, like, what that meant. Like, you don't get it. That means that she's hip. You know, she's hip. It doesn't make no sense to know she's hip to it. She's been in the trenches and she knows what she wants. And while everybody is praising Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes as they should, add Sheila to it. Add Chris Spielman to it. Add Dorsey to it. Add all the people that they put on the committee to it. This was an effort, and it's working. So shout out to it. Dan Spano says, you just call your new baby a beast. Man, let me tell you something. Okay? You ever see the Tasmanian Devil? That's my 5-month-old. You know, you ever see those videos where the guy had the sunglasses on? That's my 5-month-old. He's already standing up trying to walk. And he's been doing this since he was 4 months. He's already got 3 teeth. He was holding his head up out the womb. Out the womb. He was lifting his head and his body up, looking around out the womb. He is a different beast. Yeah. Love that little boy. All right, people, I got to get ready for work. Again, any questions you got, I'll answer them real quick. But if not, I want to wish you a safe, happy New Year. If you're going to go out and celebrate, please do it responsibly. Please be aware of your surroundings. Please be amongst people who are celebrating with you and for you. Oh, and I can't forget this too. Let me get this in. Congratulations to the University of Michigan for beating Alabama. Don't want to leave that out. Also, Penn State or Boise State. If I'm a betting man, I would bet Penn State. Happy New Year's to you too, Easy Lions Minute. Have a good New Year's, Chris Cashbar. Perry Ball night, Luke. Have a good night at work. Man, I can't believe they got me like this. This damn swing shift is something different. Talk to you later, my brother. Go Lions. Shout out to you, Dan Spanos. And to anybody else who's preparing themselves to enjoy the rest of this night, man. Happy New Year. 2025, whatever you did not do in 2025, in 2024, oh, well, water on the bridge. It's 2025. We're going to do things differently, but we're going to do it intentionally and commit to it. Now, you know me. I can't end the show unless I end it on a positive note. This one is a very simple one. Sometimes smiling is the easiest answer to a bad situation. I had to figure this out for myself because I've had some moments this year where I wasn't quite sure what to do, but just smiling did it for me, because you'd be surprised at how much your body remembers in those moments. And if you just smile sometimes, you can realize that, you know what, maybe it's not so bad. And if it is that bad, guess what? If I can't change it, then I leave it into the hands of my higher authority. And if I can change it, then I change it. But when all else fails, when all the times get too difficult, too hard, the one thing that is consistent is your ability to smile in that situation. That's your control. That's your power. And don't you ever forget to maintain that. With that being said, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Tell a friend that I'm back. Come put some love on me, you know. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research. Shout out to my man Douglas Bryant. I'm out. Happy New Year, people.